Hello, good afternoon. My name is Amber Heard, and I feel tremendously honored and humbled to be able to share the stage with such incredible voices, hearts, and minds, to share it with all of you who have gathered here today to exchange ideas, motivation, and it is my true, deep honor to introduce to you a woman that it's hard to describe when you meet somebody that empowers you, reminds you of the best part of who you really wish you were, who you wish you could be. A person that speaks to your humanity, your strength, and reminds you with their actions every day that you could do better. When I asked Ibtisam, I asked her, what drives you? You feel this injustice. She, like everyone here today, is and has a finely tuned sense of injustice. And as we see our world change rapidly, as we have increasing access to information, community, and resources, we too have an increasing awareness of what needs to be done, of our responsibility. And that can be frustrating. We're increasingly aware at the same time of the world's injustices and the people they affect. And Ibtisam is someone who sees that injustice and turns that into action. So when I asked her, aren't you frustrated? What are your frustrations? What do you do with that rage that we all have when we look around at our world and see such grave injustice permeate into all aspects of society? What do you do with it? And she said, well, it gives me strength, just like that. And so with that, Ibtisam, it is truly my honor to present you here today. Thank you so much for being such an inspiration.
Thank you very much. You are in a city which has its whole identity wrapped up in human rights. Just up the road from here is the International Criminal Court. We are home to the International Court of Justice and the Peace Palace, where we were last night for the wonderful opening ceremony. Human rights is an industry here, and yet there is another side to this city. I had the taste of it when I was 16 years old and at school. I was wearing a headscarf, and like many of my peers, I was looking for an after-school job in a store. Luckily, I found one, but I wasn't allowed to wear a headscarf while working there. I needed the money, so I took the job and took my headscarf off during working hours. After a while, it didn't feel right anymore. My headscarf was and is part of my identity as a Moroccan. My identity as a Moroccan Dutch Muslim woman. But it wasn't allowed here in The Hague. My identity was denied. Because of this, I quit my after-school job. When I walked out, it was the best decision of my life. I promised myself I was going to work to stop this kind of discrimination happening to others. I said, never again. A couple of years later, my younger sister was also prevented from wearing a headscarf at work. I helped her to bring a successful legal case for discrimination. In this city of justice, we'll still need better laws and law enforcement to protect the nearly 500,000 Muslim women in this country. I wish my sister and I were the only ones facing this kind of discrimination, that our cases were an exception here in the Netherlands, but we are not. 3 years ago, we started our organization, Meld Islamophobie, because we expected an Islamophobic backlash to recent terror attacks. We had seen it before, after 9/11. With our work, we have exposed Islamophobia that many would never associate with the Netherlands. This, after all, is a country that is internationally known as a land of tolerance, equality, freedom, diversity, and yes, a defender of human rights. A land that, after the Second World War, supposedly said never again to racism and fascism. Try telling that to the 26-year-old Muslim woman who found herself sexually assaulted on a tram where she was traveling with her 2 preschool children. The man who attacked her pinched her bottom and shouted, "Let's see what they hide behind their headscarves." She went to the police to report it, but was told she should treat the assault as a compliment. They refused to help her. What we have uncovered with our work goes deeper. We found that 90% of victims who reported to us were female, many wearing headscarves. 1/3 suffered physical violence. 2/3 were attacked in public space in daylight. Most attackers were white men. Islamophobia is not only a structural problem. We are also seeing a normalization of Islamophobia in Dutch society. It means that many anti-Muslim statements that would have been unacceptable 20 years ago are now treated normal. It means we found it normal that during a job interview, employers are more interested in your opinion about ISIS than they are in your relevant work experience. Normalization means also that we found it normal that people are excluded and treated as second-class citizens because of being Muslim. It means we are not given equal opportunities. We are prevented from developing our true potential. This infringes our human rights to quality of life. We were born here. We speak Dutch. We think and dream in Dutch. But we're always seen as the other. Tolerance, equality, freedom, diversity, inclusion, and human rights are nice-sounding marketing words. But if you're going to talk the talk, you've got to walk the walk. So let's start. So let's start today. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, young leaders from all over the world and